Okay.
The cursor is going, and it's telling me that we're live.
Hi, guys.
Hello, everyone. Confirmation would be lovely. Oh, I have a banner for this. Hold on.
Hey!
Yay!
I love the yellow, by the way. It's such a cheery color.
Thank you. That's why I chose it. I was like, I need something happy. Because normally I make everything blue, but blue is kind of like one of those colors where it could be either way. I wanted something that was definitively happy. So
yeah,
yellow
was as happy as it gets.
Say what?
Yellow's about as happy as it gets.
Yeah, sunshine, sunflowers. Yeah, summertime.
Yes.
Good times and sunshine. Hello to everyone who is here. Oh man, so what are you working on tonight, Helene?
Well, I am working on doing some character outlines like I had mentioned earlier. I am taking a little break from my camp project. I thought I was going to take maybe a week break, but it's turning out to be more than that just because I've been in this project for so long and I kind of just need to step away.
Yeah.
A little bit more than a week. So
need a breather. Yeah, I get that. I feel that.
Yeah.
No, it's that's something that I always like tell myself I have to do, and then I'm just so excited that I want to jump right back in. It's like, no, reel it back. So I try to fill my time with research. So like things that I want to learn more about before I dive into another draft. I'm like, let me fill my time while still remaining in this world. Let me do the research, but not actually touch the project. So
that's smart.
That's the compromise. All right, I'm gonna take the banner down. And so far we have Alice. Hi, Alice. Alice, I don't know if it's still going on, but last time I did a live stream, she is doing a 100 face challenge where I guess she has to like draw 100 faces in the span of, I think it's a month. And I'm like, I wish I could draw. Like, look at her. Like, her icon is so good. And I'm like, if I try to draw, they look like they walked out of the gates of hell. They don't look.
Same here.
So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. So, Alice, I hope that challenge is going good. I'm interested if or what number you're on for your faces. Nadia. Hello, Nadia. Welcome, welcome. Eleanor, hello. I would always love that name, Eleanor. Like, it's just so regal, you know?
So pretty.
It is very pretty. I always think of Sense and Sensibility, the movie with Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet. Love that movie. Colonel Brandon is the best. But I always think of, like, you know, Jane Austen and stuff when I hear that name. I love that name. And Shelby, hello. Greetings and salutations, friends. That's nice. We have a good little group so far. So, do you want to just go ahead and hop into a quick little... I keep hitting my desk with my chair. I'm sorry.
You're good. Also, heads up, my dog is barking in the background, so he'll come in a little bit, but...
I think I would rather have a dog barking in the background than the ear-piercing screeching that might be happening from the dining room later. Unless he got moved to his other cage. I'm not sure yet, but we will see. Oh, Alice said 70 out of 100. Oh, it's in 100 pieces in 10 days?
10 days?
Wow.
What?
But you're already at 70? Oh my gosh, Alice, send some of your artistic talent this direction. I feel like I need...
Yeah, please.
Give.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness.
And Eleanor is taking a break from her main project. It's free writing side. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to go. That's honestly what I need to do.
Yeah, and I like what you say about helping recharge your creative energy. That's kind of where I'm at, where I'm motivated to write, but I feel like if I keep grinding on this project, I'm going to get worn out really easily. So I kind of need to shift over to just another mindset, even just to take that little breather and recharge.
Yeah, definitely. it's that's what I need to do. So Eleanor, that is a fantastic idea. I'm going to take a page from your book, my friend. Not literally, but you know. Woo-hoo. All right. With that horrible writing pun, are you guys ready for a sprint?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get this pulled up. Yay, there we go. So we're going to start with 10 minutes. And I did this last time on my birthday sprint, but I actually kind of liked doing picking the dates of your favorite movies
I
and
love that idea.
putting the movies in as the sprints. Because I mean, I love movies, but so if anyone wants to start thinking about while the sprint is going on, what your favorite movie is and what year it came out in, it might be one of our sprints. So, all right. Well, if you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and get started. Helene, you all set?
Yep.
Awesome. Let's go. Woohoo. Good luck, everybody. That scared me.
Me too. I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Oh, it always scares me. It's like I can see the countdown and I'm like, oh, it's getting there. Da-na-na-na-na. And then when it actually happens, it's like, nope, never mind. Guess what?
Yup.
Surprise, surprise. So how did you do? Are you doing research again?
Character stuff. Yeah, it's kind of hard to measure. Like, oh, I filled out this many questions for my
totally get
character,
that. I feel like research is just one of those things where you can't put you can't put a number on it. So there was a chorus of whistles going on in the background. Like, because Jimmy can whistle. He can't talk, but he can whistle and he'll make like kissy noises and stuff. So Steven and Jimmy were whistling to each other. It was actually really cute. Jimmy can be a menace, but when he's cute, he's cute. So hold on a second. I don't even know. Yeah, I'm still editing.
You're still editing, right?
I edited about 157 words, but it's so much rereading and just figuring out what goes where and what makes sense and what doesn't. Because it's like I talked about this a little bit in my editing vlog, and I think my antagonist is changing. That's what I'm getting from this. I mean, I guess they're not changing, but they're coming in much sooner than I originally anticipated. So I'm writing it as if this person has already been there the entire story.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So in draft 3, I'm going to have to go back and add them to the beginning of the story, but yeah.
I've done that before. Like, okay, we're going to pretend this information was already included way back. We're just going to go.
I keep making notes of it. I'm like, this person needs to be at the beginning of this book, and they need to be in Act 1 because they're going to be a big deal later. Don't forget. But
I feel that.
Yeah. Shelby got 78 words working on a new fantasy project. I seriously applaud, including you, Helene, and you, Shelby, and anybody who has ever attempted this. I applaud people who write fantasy because fantasy is hard.
It is.
Trying to figure out like the rules of the land and the magic and the different species and keeping everybody straight and separate and unique. I'm like, kudos to you guys who have it organized and can do that. So
to tell the truth, the main reason I started getting into fantasy at all was because I hated doing research. So fantasy is kind of nice in that aspect because you get to come up with your own rules and your own history and everything.
That's like the best reason to write fantasy is because you don't want to do
with it. So there's other reasons I like fantasy now, but originally, that's why I started doing fantasy.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. I like it because of Lord of the Rings. That's where my love of fantasy came from. But I like reading and watching fantasy, not writing fantasy. So maybe someday I'll try it. Eleanor got 286. Woo! Nice. That is a good number. And Sarah is here. Hello, Sarah. Watching Howard? What is Howard? I'm curious. But I love the fact that you were on Disney Plus because there are many wonderful things on Disney Plus. So also, Zara, I'm going to point fingers at you, my friend, because I have Hadestown stuck in my head and have been listening to it on repeat because it is that good. So both thank you and darn it. Why didn't you introduce me to Hadestown? It's good though. I was actually singing it before I turned this on. So, and Alice, no words, going through ideas and projects to see what I want to focus on in September. Nice. That's a good idea too. What?
I need to do that.
Yeah. Well, especially too, because I'm thinking about it. We're not that far away from NaNoWriMo, and I'm like, I have no idea what my nano project is going to be this year.
Yeah.
I'm actually terrified of nano this year. Like last year, I was like, yeah, let's do this, and just jumped right into it. I have no idea.
It's like that moment when you're like, you have so many projects in the Nano coming up, and you're like, all of a sudden you forget about all those other projects you had, and you're like, I don't know if any of them are ready though.
Yeah.
What should I do for Nano?
Oh my gosh, it's like I have so many. I have like a whole book of ideas, and I'm like, I don't know. Fantasy.
Yes, I love it. There are times when I'm like, okay, this does have to make some sort of sense though, so then I have to rack my brain to make sure it makes sense somehow. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I tried actually one of the first novels that I ever tried, like full-length novels I ever tried writing was a fantasy. And I thought I had like a super awesome idea. And then I got like into I think I got to like my second draft and I was like, I actually don't know what I'm doing. So I've shelved that project, but I don't know. Maybe if you guys convince me, I'll get it back out someday. So we'll see. Documentary about Howard Ashman. He wrote the
Oh.
Oh, okay. So he's the one to thank for all that beautiful music that annoyed our parents as children.
Nice.
You're welcome. I love it. I really do love it. Seeing the Lord into Hades Town. Well, and it fits too because there's a lot in it where that kind of correlates with the story I'm telling. Like, obviously, it's not Orpheus and what's her name? Eurydice? I don't know. She's got a name that looks not how it's pronounced. But the songs that they sing about Hades and Persephone, I'm like, that is my story. Hello. Fantasy, you can just add stuff in, finish the book before deciding how a magic system works. Oh.
That's honestly what I did. Actually, for the series I'm writing right now, I had a vague idea, like, okay, I know they can do this, this, and this. I don't know if that's all they can do or if that's going to be the extent. I don't know any limitations. So literally anytime. So there's a typical scene where the main character gets trained on how to use their magic. I completely skipped that scene because I'm like, I don't know how this works. We're going to skip it. And then for draft 2, I had to come back and actually figure out, okay, so how does this magic work? Because I don't know any more than the main character at this point. So I had to go back and add it all in the second draft. But yeah, I feel that.
I had this weird idea for my fantasy thing, and that it was that no one really had magic. It was like the spirit of the land would like attach itself to one person in particular, and they basically could then use that the power of the spirit to not necessarily move things, but it was almost like a guide or like someone who was there to help you, as opposed to actually like being a force of power or whatever you want to call it. So that was what like my thing was, and it was like this. It was just like a spirit that was kind of like the what's the little floating ball from Zelda?
Oh, I was thinking Will o' the Wisp, but
or the wisps, I guess, from Brave, but but just one as opposed to like and like you could use the power that they had, and they were like magical objects, but like the power didn't come from like the person unless it was whoever the spirit chose to attach itself to.
Ooh, I love that though.
It was hard to explain. I was like, how do I explain this?
Let's be honest, does Tolkien really explain the magic system in his completely?
No, he does not. He does not explain how a ring wants to get back to its master.
Nope.
But we love him anyway.
Yep.
I feel like we're getting ganged up on when it comes to Hades Town. Totally feel not knowing what to do for Nano, despite having so many ideas. Yeah, I know. Nano is just like so stressful. I mean, it's fun stress, but it's still stress. So
also, November is like, I mean, as someone who's in school, like one of the worst months. Because it's not like you're just starting school where things are kind of slow. It's right smack dab in the middle of semester. Midterms
Midterm.
are coming up. It's the worst time, but I love it. I mean, I love the event and everything, but it's just happens to be not a very convenient month if you're a student.
No, it's not. It's so stressful. And I think that's why I got sick after I finished my novel last year, was because in addition to doing 50,000 words in 2 weeks, because I'm insane, and don't know what the meaning of slow down is. In addition to that, I also had like tests and papers that I had to do. And so I think it was just like accumulation of all this stuff and then dead for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks alive, 2 weeks dead. That's how my November was last year.
Yep.
So yeah, it is like such a bad time if you're a student to add 50,000 words on top of those midterms.
Fun.
I knew the name Alan Menken.
Yeah.
Because I think he also did the music. He's done the music for a lot of other things like Tangled. I think he did Tangled. And I think he's done a couple other of the recent princess movies. But he is from the Renaissance. So the Disney Renaissance. With a couple movies that, were not so great, but a lot of them were, so.
Yep.
Yay, I pronounced your Eurydice. I just have to think of like how Orpheus says it in the play, and then I'm like, Eurydice. Okay. Yes, Helene. November and April are both the worst times. Yeah. Oh, they're terrible. I hate April. I like April, but I hate it for the same reason that I hate November. It's because that's when all the professors gang up on you and are like, here, have all these midterms.
Well, in this semester, for my college at least, they're starting early. So I actually start at the end of August. And I guess their goal is to try to get us out of semester around Thanksgiving time, which is when the big flu season is supposed to hit. So I'll be having finals in November, which is going to be like even more fun than just midterms. So
yeah. My school, we normally start at the last week of August, so this is not new. The only thing that we're changing is that everything is online now, and we're not actually, at least the classes that I am signed up for are all online, and I think that's how they're doing most of them. But the thing that's got my, my rage going, I guess, makes me want to rage quit my school, is that while all the other schools in Virginia have been decreasing their tuition because of COVID, my school decided now is the perfect time to increase tuition.
They're increasing it?
So, increase. Yeah.
What?
Which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why. I don't know why they would even think about doing that, but yeah, they're increasing it.
You'd think with like demand of everyone decreasing, they would try to.
It's because I honestly think it's because my school used to be like a satellite campus or whatever you want to call it for another school in Virginia. It used to be a satellite campus for University of Virginia, and they're kind of a little bit more like prestigious, I guess. Yeah. And so it's like they're trying to like have that same level of harumph. And I think, but because it's technically a commuter school, they have like no other way of doing that except for raising tuition, because what we all need is for them to raise tuition so that they can pay the people who get their scholarships.
Oh.
I don't like my school. I don't know if you guys can know. Howard is the reason Alan went to Disney, and now they're both Disney legends. Well, there you go.
Interesting.
See, this is why it pays to have friends in high places.
Oh.
Because then you too may join the big leagues someday.
They're gonna say like friends on the other side, make a princess and the frog.
Oh yes, they got friends on the other side. I love that movie.
Go.
I absolutely adore that movie. That the Shadow Man.
Yes.
I love him.
The songs, honestly, I just listen to that playlist when doing dishes. It makes anything sound epic.
I know. What?
You want it? No.
Oh, I'll get it later. Is that okay? Thank you, though. He made me dinner.
Aw.
He's the best. Anyway, so do you guys have a favorite movie and the year that it came out in? And that will be what our next sprint will be. Princess and the Frog came out in 2008, right?
No.
For some reason,
I'll look it up.
I remember movie dates, but I can't remember like actual like math or anything. Like you could like be like, "Hey Maddie, when did this movie come out?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I think it's about from this time period," or I'll give like an exact date. But if you ask me what like 2 + 2 is, I have to sit and think about it for a second. It's like,
What? Okay, it's 2009.
I was a year off.
Which is still amazing because I was just thinking early 2000s. That's all I could remember.
I was a year off. Because Tangled was the one after that.
Yeah.
And I remember that was 2010. And then Frozen was, I think, 2013. Which I'm going to throw this out there. Tangled is way better than Frozen.
I agree.
Cindy,
backlash now.
What?
Backlash now.
Well, I did that on Sarah's channel when I started talking about how much I love The Last Jedi. So why not just, open a whole nother controversy? Tangled is better than Frozen.
I agree.
The lag on here is so...
You're cutting out sometimes. I don't know if I'm doing the same thing on your end. Like it kind of freezes up a little bit. So I don't know if that's happening on the stream as well.
Yeah, it happened once. I don't know. Am I more frequent in the freezing category?
It was just like I think once, and then it sticks sometimes. But
it's because I said Tangled was better than Frozen.
Now the FBI agents and our cameras are like, no.
They're working with the people at YouTube, like, nope.
Censored.
Disney is watching. The mouse is watching.
The
mouse. That's how every time something happens in a Disney movie that I don't like, I'm like, get the mouse on the phone. I need to talk to this thing. Tangled is better than Frozen. Always. Mm-hmm. Tangled is better.
Yay.
Eleanor, I'm assuming you're talking about Tangled being better than Frozen. Oh, man. Well, since Tangled is better than Frozen, do you want to just do the year Frozen came out? Or not Frozen, sorry, Tangled. Hello.
I mean, I don't get the logic behind that, but okay.
I misspoke. There's only a 3-second difference. So I said Tangled came out in 2010, right? I'm going to fact check myself on that before I commit to that.
I don't know if you keep all these straight. I'm so bad about remembering movie dates or...
It's because when I get excited for a new movie to come out, I memorize the date it comes out. And I have put on my calendar and then I have a countdown. So I just remember. I don't know why. I like going. I used to love going to the movies. That was like my favorite pastime in high school was going to the movies with friends. And I cannot tell you how many stupid movies they dragged me to.
It's an experience though, right?
Huh?
It's just the experience, Yeah. Experience.
I've ever heard of a movie called Pacific Rim.
I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
Dumbest movie I've seen in a very long time. It is 2010. All right. So that's not Pacific Rim because that movie was terrible. Apologies to anybody who liked that movie. But
it's going to be our least favorite movies. We'll do the time for that.
I mean, you could do like a whole stream of bad movies. I feel like I remember the bad movies better than the good ones sometimes. I don't know why. Hold on a second. All right, so I've got 2010 up on the thingy. If I can click the right button. There we go. All right. So everybody get your chameleons on your shoulder, get your hair braided if you so choose, or, give it a nice cut with a shard of a mirror. And we will go ahead and get started. All right. Happy sprinting. It went off. I forgot to press the.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, it went off,
you
and my
scared me.
first instinct was. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Oh, you're good. Had just clicked on a link and then you started talking, and I was like, oh crap, you know, when you click on something and then like a video will start playing, and you're like, where did this come from?
It's the ad. If you hit the X button in the top right hand corner, I'll go away.
Like,
No, the thing scared me again. So my first instinct was, turn it off. And then I was like, wait, I haven't unmuted myself. So apologies to anybody I scared.
you should just unmuted it and gone beep 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 beep.
Beep, 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 beep. Just this crazy lady making beeps. So how did you do?
I did well. I went on a little spiral looking up clothing references. So
Yeah,
you
the
know how
spiral. I've fallen into the rabbit hole that is Pinterest. So
I am too. I'm on
I
Pinterest
like
right
a
now.
whole board. I don't even know why. You know how like when you first sign up for Pinterest and they're like, hey, you need to have like these pages. And I was like, I don't really want these pages, but okay. So one of them was cute animals. So literally I have a page that's called cute animals, but it's just a picture of a tiny bunny curled up in someone's hand. That's my page. Oh, so how did everyone else do? Comments are very laggy, yes.
Very laggy.
They normally are. I don't know why. It's strange. But I did probably about 3 or 4 paragraphs. I'm going through it and I'm like, there's so much of this that just doesn't work anymore. And I have like a whole page of just strike through of all the stuff that does not work anymore.
No.
And it makes me sad.
Save it. I mean, that's what I do sometimes when even though I know I'm not going to use a certain passage, but I really, really like it. So I'll just literally copy paste it to another document, delete it from my original document. So I still have it, and it's not as painful as deleting it completely, but it's just not in my draft.
Yeah, I normally read through it, and if I deem something unusable, just because the characters have like a lot of like their choices and attitudes towards things have shifted, and it just doesn't make sense with how they feel. I'm like,
yeah,
out of there. But like if there's something in it that I like that I'm gonna maybe use later, I literally have documents that are just called use later ? That's all I got.
I love that.
Alice is still no words, created a word tracker that I'm going to try to use. I need to do that. I use for like NaNoWriMo, I use their like recommended word tracker, but I need to like come up with my own because theirs is a little boring, if I'm being completely honest. I'm allowed to, right?
A reward system or something.
Yeah, that's actually what I set up. I can't remember which notebook I put it in, but I had like a whole, I opened up right to it. Yeah, I had a whole reward system. Like I got like a mug. I could go buy a new mug, any mug I wanted. The Luke Combs had just come out with a new album, so that was my second reward at the time. Trip to my favorite used bookstore. And then there's a really good like burger and custard place near us, and I gave it up for the whole month so that once I reached 50,000 words, I could go get Freddy's.
Yes.
That was my reward, was burgers, fries, and a shake.
It's awesome.
For writing a novel. It's the best way to reward yourself. Just buy yourself fried and grilled food for a month, and you'll be writing like nobody's business.
Oh yeah. I've never actually done that. Like I keep hearing about people setting up reward systems. I'm like, that would work so well for me. I just need to come up with effective rewards.
Yeah, and that was a tricky thing too, is that I couldn't it was hard for me to come up with rewards. Like, I like mugs. I have a whole mug collection, which is a little silly. So that one was easy. And then there was like the Luke Combs album, which I was really excited for. But after that, I was like, what is a good incentive? You know, it was hard to think of something that was like tangible, like a tangible incentive that I was like, oh, yes, this is a good reward.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and then me being me, I'm really naturally stingy about money. So if it's something like, oh, I'll go let myself buy some new notebooks, which I always love, but then it's also like, is it really a reward? Because I hate giving up money too. I
yeah.
hate buying stuff like, and I'm like, I don't know, is it just a waste? So then that's an additional thing to it. So I was also trying to come up with what are some free rewards? I don't know.
Satisfaction.
Get some people, hey, would you mind sponsoring me?
Excuse
Give
me,
me
I'm
a
doing
reward.
this thing. Would you mind getting this for me when I reach this certain number of words?
Can I sign you up for getting me a donut for when I reach 30,000 words? Thank you.
How about a pint of ice cream? Yeah, I don't know. It was different then because like I had a reliable job and I don't have a reliable job right now. So the idea of doing like rewards is
It's different, yeah.
yeah, it's different now. So now I'm thinking like I don't want to pay it for myself. But back then I was fine.
Yeah,
Got a burger and fries out of the deal, so you know,
that's
all
awesome.
is good. California steak burger, which I don't know if you've ever been. Have you ever heard of In-N-Out Burger?
Yep.
Yep. So Freddy's, the place that's near us that we really like, they I think started as a Midwest chain, and I don't know if they moved west, but they moved east. And so they have a steak burger that's literally just called California style, and
Ooh,
it's just the burger you get at In-N-Out. It is like the Midwest version of the In-N-Out burger, and it's amazing.
dang, that sounds awesome.
I love it. I miss living in the Southwest. All the good food was down there. All the best Mexican food, all the best fast food restaurants, all the best, poke restaurants. They were all down there. And nothing here. I'm going to try and use Google Sheets so I can have the graphs. Oh, I'm so bad at Google. Google everything.
Same.
Oh, Google is Sheets is that the spreadsheets? See, this is how like disconnected I am from like technologies. I'm like, what do you mean by sheets?
Yeah, is it? Sorry, I'm getting like super distracted by this one
No,
scene that's cutting.
you're fine.
I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
You kind of look like you're Galadriel coming out of her little hovel in Lothlorien or whatever the heck you want to call it. Like she's all like bright light and when she comes out.
Hopefully it'll go away. I'm sorry, you guys.
So now what you need to do is you need to find a hobbit and you need to have them offer you a ring of power, and then your response is, in place of a dark lord you will have a queen.
Just throughout the entire.
just suddenly do like a quick costume change, do the whole thing, and then go back to acting like it never happened.
One of these days, one of these word spreads, and I'm gonna come in some random costume, and it's gonna happen.
I really think we should have like a costumed or like a themed live sprint sometime of like, like a Lord of the Rings themed or Star Wars or whatever, just pirates. I need to go get that captain's hat from my parents' house. It's very hard for me to convince myself that a milestone is worth rewarding myself. Currently trying to talk myself into buying some new editions of Shakespeare as camp rewards.
I love Shakespeare so much. Actually, one of my most recent book hauls before Corona happened, that was fun. Mm-hmm. But I went to this bookstore and they had all the Sunbeam, y'all, I tell you what. and they had all
Oh.
these vintage books, and so I bought some, and they had this collection of Shakespeare's most famous works. Unfortunately, it wasn't all of them, but
Mhm.
it's such. I might have to bring it down at one point, or maybe I'll put it on one of my vlogs on my video because it's just this pristine. And you open it, it's like a giant book. Where's the camera?
Yeah.
It's like this big. There's a sunbeam and pretty thick. And you open it up, and it's so satisfying to read. So
I'm
I feel Shakespeare.
Yeah, when it comes to Shakespeare, I can't read it because if I read it, I'm like, what language are these people speaking? Like, I speak a language that's considered to be one of the hardest languages to learn, but I cannot for the life of me read Shakespeare. But if I go and I watch like the play and it actually being performed, I'm like, oh, I understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, like, I went and saw back in high school, my school did a production of Macbeth, and it was really good. And I had tried reading Macbeth before, and I was like, I do not understand a lick of this. And then I went and saw the play, and I was like, I get it.
There's something about having the costumes and the sets, and if you get good actors, yeah.
Yeah. And there's something about hearing the way they spoke back then, about actually hearing it as opposed to just reading it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it is, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Move. This is just so bad.
She's done being Galadriel.
Oh,
Alex says, my reward right now is for every 10K, I get one guilt-free day of no writing. Oh, that's actually a good idea.
that's awesome.
I might steal that, or not steal. I might borrow without permission, but with every intention of giving it back. Alice, your idea. I had to throw in the Pirates of the Caribbean quote. I'm sorry.
Okay, never mind. We're going back because the light is not cooperating with me.
Oh, she's Galadriel again. Zara says, I need to think of rewards. It's always so hard to think of what to do.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I like the no guilt day.
Those are nice.
Yeah. So I'm on board for that one. And of course, a milkshake and French fries are never a bad idea.
Oh yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys do this, but I love dipping my French fries in my milkshake because I love the sweet and savory, and it works perfectly, especially with strawberry shakes. Oh my gosh, French fries and strawberry shakes, beautiful. I love it. Love reading Shakespeare. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's something about seeing the words versus hearing them that makes it easier to understand. I don't know why. Maybe the visuals help, I guess. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did write old poetry. Yes, he did. Oh, actually, speaking of Shakespeare, I don't know if you've seen these, Helene, but they're so funny. Somebody took the scripts from all 9 of the Skywalker saga for Star Wars and translated them into Shakespeare lingo.
I have The Empire Strikes Back. I have that one.
Yes, and it's like the Force doth awaken. I was like, this is amazing. And like the first line of the book was like, Luke Skywalker hath disappeared. And I was like, this is beautiful.
Maybe during this next sprint, I might run upstairs and see if I can unearth it and then read like a little passage or something after this next sprint. Because it's so funny.
The Star Wars one?
Yeah, The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. What would that even be? The Empire Striketh Backeth?
The Empire Striketh Back, I think is what it is.
Okay. One too many ifs. French fries and strawberry shakes. Yes! It is a beautiful combination. Freaked my parents out the first time I did it in front of them. But But I'm also the master of weird food combinations that turn out to be delicious, at least to me. Like I used to dip my pasta in blueberry yogurt.
Oh. I've never heard that before. I've heard this.
That was my favorite snack as a kid, was cold pasta and blueberry yogurt. And I would dip it like I was dipping French fries in ketchup. Like that's what I would do. I'm always looking for weird flavor combinations. I don't know why. It's just I love mixing my foods and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. Also, A1 sauce and Old Bay seasoning actually go pretty well together as long as you're careful with how much Old Bay you're using. Fun
Yeah,
fact.
that's it. I can see that.
I eat a lot of food. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Alice's mom has all of those books of the Shakespeare Star Wars.
Amazing.
I saw those and I died. I was like, these are too brilliant. I love this. Oh my gosh. I love it, love it, love it. Apparently there was something I was reading where it was like they took this like almost a word for word scene from Romeo and Juliet in one of them. I can't remember what the scene was, but apparently that was the thing that happened. So I'd be interested in knowing. So speaking of sprints, actually, is there a movie date year that we were thinking?
I don't know. Trying to think.
What are you thinking, Helene?
We talked about Sense and Sensibility, didn't we? We could look
We did
up.
talk about Sense and Sensibility. I think that was that 95?
I don't know. We can say 95.
I don't know. It's weird if that's how old that movie is. I'm as I'm as old as that movie. If it is 1995. I'm gonna look this up.
I would. My phone just died though.
But Alan Rickman in that movie as Colonel Brandon, like, you know, as a kid, you see Alan Rickman and you're like, oh, it's Severus Snape, or oh, it's Hans Gruber. Me as a kid, when I saw Harry Potter, I was like, oh, look, it's Colonel Brandon. And then I was like, why is he the bad guy? Colonel Brandon was a nice gentleman. What the heck? What's going on? I was so confused when I saw Alan Rickman as a bad guy because my introduction to him was Sense and Sensibility, where he's just an absolute sweetheart.
See, where I saw him first, I think was Sweeney Todd, and he played.
I forgot he was in that. Yeah.
And so he was like a really bad guy in that one, and so that was really fun to go from that and then to go see Sense and Sensibility. This light. I'm sorry. I absolutely am getting so distracted by it right now.
Oh no, you're good. I totally. That's why I went and got my light from my parents' house. To my neighbors, I probably look ridiculous. So I'm gonna just close my blinds so they can't look at me anymore. So Sense and Sensibility did come out in 1995. I was right. Which is, that thing is as old as I am. And also, too, I don't know if you ever saw the Pride and Prejudice, the BBC version with Colin Firth.
Yeah.
That one came out the same year. That one is fantastic, by the way.
Same year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think I like that one better than the Keira Knightley movie.
Yeah.
Apologies to everyone who's seen the Keira Knightley movie and enjoy it. I just personally really like the 4-hour BBC version. So
yeah.
Apologies. Alice said 1998 for Mulan.
Love Mulan.
Oh yeah, and then Zara also recommended that for the other stream. Mulan is just so good. I mean, I have my whole rants about how I feel about the live action movie coming up, but I love the animated one. So we could do, because I know that they're not gonna actually translate as like 1990 whatever. It's gonna be like 20 something. So do we want to do 1998 for Mulan or 1995 for Sense and Sensibility? Because I'm down for either.
Oh, we can do. I'm good at doing the Mulan one if we want to.
Mulan is the best. She's so cool. I love both for different reasons. The original Pride and Prejudice movie with Lawrence Olivers, who I don't know if I've seen that. Is that?
I don't think I've seen that one either.
I'm guessing that's from before the BBC version because I haven't heard of that one. My mom is like a Jane Austen purist, I guess. So she really likes the BBC version because it is most accurate to the book in
Mhm.
terms of like character choices and like just how the story is told, I guess. And she doesn't like the Keira Knightley movie. She's also a purist when it comes to Lord of the Rings. So watching Lord of the Rings with her is very fun because she will call out every time we watch it. She will call out Peter Jackson for what he got wrong. It's like, Mom, just sit down and enjoy it, please. Just. So we'll do 1998 for Mulan, which turns into 2038. Oh, she said it's before the BBC. Lawrence Oliver. Oh, Olivier. Sorry. Laurence Olivier is a really famous actor. I have heard the name before. Now that I'm reading it correctly, I have heard the name before. I can't tell you what he's in, though. It does sound really familiar. But that is a mystery for another time. Maybe I'll look him up while we're sprinting. While you run and get the Shakespeare book, I'll just look up who Laurence Olivier is. Alrighty, so let me go ahead and pull this up. And so I hope everybody is ready. Grab your father's armor and your lucky cricket, and good luck sprinting. I remembered to unmute myself before.
I was just thinking at the beginning of the sprint, I had some good lighting here, and then still struggling.
Still struggling.
How did you do?
I did okay. Poseidon just entered stage left, so I like him. He's great. He's like the supportive brother-in-law, so he's I mean he's kind of, you know, I mean he's Poseidon, he's kind of a jerk in his own right, but he likes Persephone enough, so he's nice to her. But
yes.
yeah. So besides, I always imagined that Poseidon and Hades would get along better than Hades and Zeus. I just don't see Zeus getting along with anyone, but I see Poseidon and Hades getting along.
Yeah.
How did you do? Did you find more wonderful little costumes or attire?
I did. I almost let myself get sucked into this BBC thing called like Tudor Monastery Farm or something. It was this whole series I didn't know they had, and I almost clicked on it and let myself get sucked into that, but I didn't. I restrained. It was the wrong time period anyway, so. But yeah, I did some more character stuff and filled out some more questions and did research.
I spent the first couple minutes of the sprint looking up who Laurence Olivier was, and I recognized him from like very little. Apparently, he was like a cameo in Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, but that was the only movie where I was like, I know what that is. Everything else, I was like, So, yeah, the name is familiar. I don't think I've seen any of his films. 713. Wow. That's awesome. I love how Alice was like, oh, I didn't get any words. I was doing this. Didn't get any words. I was doing this. And then for this sprint, she's like, bam, 700.
Yeah.
Go, Alice. Sarah, so hyped. The hype is not real, y'all. It's okay. I know I should be doing a better job of selling it, especially since I'm thinking of doing the self-publishing route. So it's like, I probably should be like, oh, yay, all the hype. But
every time you talk about it, like it hypes me up. Even if you're not intentionally trying to like just talking about it, I always get so excited listening to you.
Hype. Well, hopefully it'll turn out to be good someday. Right now it's a bit of a mess. It's a little bit like a tornado blew through, followed by an earthquake, followed by a hurricane, and then a volcano just came in, and that's how the story looks right now. Eleanor got 508. Nice. Nice. Oh my gosh. You guys are killing it.
Ooh.
Sarah says, I feel like Poseidon could get along with Zeus, but I don't see Zeus get along with anyone. Yeah. Zeus, I think it's just because he is like king of the gods and he is the one who is responsible for like freeing his siblings from Kronos' stomach and all that stuff. I feel like that kind of puts him on like a pedestal for a lot of people. And when people are on pedestals like that, they're perceived to not be good people. So I can, I don't know. Poseidon, the way I kind of have it is like Poseidon is like almost like a mediator between Zeus and Hades. Just because I am a firm believer that Zeus screwed Hades over when it came to dividing up realms. And that sort of rigged it so Hades would get the underworld. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of Zeus. He's just
not really. I feel like he gets seen or portrayed as a hero and a lot of the remakes of the stories and things, but honestly,
he's
not really that great of an individual.
No, and it is weird too because you're right. He is kind of portrayed as like a hero or a like this like majestic king or whatever you want to call it. No, he was a womanizing, murdering, crazy, unfair I mean, I can't think of a G-rated word to follow that up. Like, it was not a good person. Like, I have not read a single myth with Zeus in it where I'm like, I get this guy. I'm like, you're terrible.
Again, coming back to Hades was probably the least problematic of all of them.
I think he was. Like, he
One of
did the
the
kidnapping. He did the kidnapping like what, once? That was it. He did the kidnapping once. And then after that, he was like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to do this anymore. Zeus was like, if he saw anything that was breathing, anything that had a pulse, he was like,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Poseidon, I feel like, was kind of like that, but not to the extreme that Zeus was.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just see Poseidon as being like the fun uncle, Like,
yeah.
I feel like he would be the fun uncle. And yes, Zara, it does make sense. I don't see Zeus getting along with anyone. I mean, he doesn't even get along with his wife.
Yeah.
So, dude, the Greek gods are they're there's something else, let me tell you.
Soap opera, honestly. Reading Greek mythology, just the family drama and it's great. Really
I know. It's, and when you say family drama, it's like you literally family drama. Oh, I guess the Bible started off the same way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it though. Greek mythology is just so fascinating.
I know.
Zeus was a tyrant. That's the best G-rated.
I started thinking too, and I was like, yeah.
That is the only G-rated word I think you can apply to him, because I don't know what YouTube responses to certain words, but I have like a whole slew of things that I could call him that I will refrain from calling him, just for the sake of not getting a strike on my account. Yeah, but that's the thing I've learned. Thing you learn through research. Hades really wasn't that bad a guy, and Zeus was a complete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Hades getting a bad rap. Oh man. It's like doing research for, like, when you're looking up like pirates and stuff and you learn more about, like, I don't know. It is funny, like they were actually like good pirates, which I know sounds like an oxymoron, but they existed. They were there, and it's like one of those things where it's like you have this one picture of how someone should be, and then it's like, oh wait, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think it was because I love pirates, and I recently was looking up about Captain Kidd, I think. And
Oh yeah.
the story I heard, at least, he kind of became a pirate by accident, because there's privateering back then, which is when the Queen, the monarch of England, was like, yeah, I'll allow you to go take these Spanish ships as prizes. That'll make it easier for my navy, so my navy doesn't have to deal with all those Spanish ships. We'll just give people letters of marque and let them go do privateering. So I guess Captain Kidd started doing that, and then he took a ship that he thought was Spanish, but it ended up not being Spanish, and it also had like an Indian diplomat on it. So he started this whole diplomatic outrage by accidentally capturing the wrong ship, and he became a pirate through that. At least that's the story that I read. I don't know how accurate that was, but I just thought that was so funny that literally he accidentally became a pirate. And I don't know if he just went along with it after or not, but I know he got hanged. And he, compared to some of the other pirates, compared to some of the other pirates, he did not commit as many crimes or felonies, but he got hanged as an example because of political stuff going on at the time.
That's so funny, because it's like Captain Kidd is like one of the most well-known pirates of the golden age of piracy, and he became a pirate by mistake.
Now I don't know if he had if this was the first ship that wasn't Spanish, he accidentally did it, or if he'd done this before. But I just heard that there was one ship he thought was Spanish and ended up not being Spanish, and that was at the beginning of his piratical career. So I think that's what kicked it off, and I just thought that was so funny.
That is hysterical. I love that.
I was
Oh
like,
my god.
if I lived in that time period, that something like that would happen to me. I would
Yeah,
actually become a pirate.
you just accidentally become a pirate. That's funny. Oh, because yeah, because he did end up getting executed for piracy.
Yeah.
That is so. Oh, poor Captain Kidd.
And he was like, I want to say 50s or something when he first started privateering. So he
Mm-hmm.
was old for that time.
Yeah, his life expectancy was a little bit better, I guess, than everybody else's. Considering it took a hanging for him to actually die in the end instead of like the other things that happened. Oh man, no, I still will always absolutely love Anne Bonny. She will
Oh,
always be like my icon. I love her so much, especially her last words to Calico Jack.
hmm.
She was a boss. She was so cool.
She was awesome. Oh my
Still would
goodness.
love to know what happened to her, but she was awesome. If y'all don't know who Anne Bonny is, I highly recommend looking her up. She is one of the most awesome just people in history. She's super famous female pirate, really cool, super badass lady. She was I love her so much. Chaotic energy. I think that's what
Right.
Helene says it would be her.
I heard it on a documentary or something, and I just sat there. I was like, that's a mood.
I feel that. History like this is how I decided that in my story there would be no good guys, four governments, and none of them are moral or good. Ooh,
I love
that
that.
is very good. Actually, pretty accurate too for most of history.
Well, you think about the phrase history is written by the victors, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. And Alice loves Anne Bonny. Yes. Oh, she's so cool. I mean, I could gush about her all night. Like even as a kid, she was one of my favorite pirates just because I thought it was so cool that this lady was pretty much kind of a captain of the ship. I'd say she was more in charge than Calico Jack was.
I think
She
so.
she was a crazy lady and I love her. She's awesome. Do either of you have any nonfiction pirate recommendations? Hmm. Does piratology count? Because I had that book when I was a kid, the big one with like the maps that you could pull out and stuff.
No,
I
unfortunately, I read most of the pirate books I read are fiction, and then I'll do research and watch documentaries, which is where I learn a lot of my nonfiction facts about them.
mhm.
I don't know
I
about if I have any
know
books.
there's a book that my dad actually got me, and I never read it. So sorry, Dad. But it's a book. I think it's called Under the Black Flag, and I don't think it's. I think it might be mostly about Edward Teach or Blackbeard. But I think it also is kind of just about piracy and the Golden Age in general. Um, and I think that's what it's called is Under the Black Flag. Um, but that's the only one that really comes to mind because I tried looking up pirate books the other day just to see like what all there was, and that's where the vampire thing came from. And I'm like, oh, God, no. How would you combine these two? But yeah, most of the things that I learn now, I either research or I watch or yeah. So I can't really think of any good nonfiction pirate books.
Yeah.
But I would be down to find one about Anne Bonny.
Oh yeah.
And Mary Read. I don't know. I always thought Anne Bonny was cooler, but she was a crazy lady. So do you want to do one more quick sprint and then we'll wrap it up?
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Alrighty. It is getting a little bit late here on the East Coast. So
Oh yeah, you guys are about 9?
yeah, we're about 2 hours ahead, I think.
Yes.
So, but I love talking pirates. So
Yes.
I might actually have to go do some nonfiction research of my own for a good book. Or I'll just go to my dad my mom and dad's house. My house is, or my parents' house is like a library. Like I could walk in the door and be like, Dad, I need a book on what happened in 1845. And he'll come out with a stack of books. Like, well, you had this event and this event and this event. Or it's like, hey, Dad, I need a book about the Revolutionary War. Well, here are my 3 bookshelves of Revolutionary War books. What exactly are you looking for? Are you looking for the Battle of Yorktown, the Battle of this, the Battle of that? And it's like, Dad, why do you have all these things? But it's useful when you're doing research.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what? I can ask my dad if he has any recommendations because he probably does. So, the joys of growing up in a library.
Oh, yes.
Alrighty. Well, we will do our 10-minute sprint and then we'll do just a quick wrap up and then we will be all set. So if you guys are ready, we will go ahead and get a sprint in. Woo, there we go. Cool. Sweet. Last one. How'd you do?
Pretty good. I don't really know how to measure what I did. I don't remember what all I did, but I feel good about it. Felt like I got some stuff done.
I'm working on the build up here. So, or I guess the build up to like Act 3. So.
That's exciting.
Let's see. Oh, this is from before. Okay. Yes, my dad is a personal librarian. I can ask him for any book in any time period in American history and some European history and some Asian history, and he has a book for it. It's crazy. That's nuts.
That's awesome.
Insane. Yeah.
What?
My dad got me just for the heck of it, like 800-page book on the American Revolution. And I was like,
honestly, I would love to read that though.
I was like, Father, I thank you, but what am I going to do with an 800-page book about the American Revolution? Could have come in handy now that I've been watching Hamilton, so.
There you go.
Alice had to duck out. Well, thank you so much, Alice, for stopping in. Yeah. Oh, and Autumn. Hello, Autumn. Sees blue light, steps on. I love it. That is the best way to do it. I'm so glad you evaded law enforcement to come to this stream.
You're awesome.
That was our last sprint, though, so I do feel bad that you went through all that trouble. But it's still great that you showed up. So thank you. I hope the cops don't show up at your house.
You blame us.
Yeah. The FBI agent watching this is like, are they being serious or?
Yeah. Conversations of writers.
Yeah, right. Just made coffee and edited what you've written. Yeah, the typos are real. Yeah. Aw, well, thank you, Autumn. It's always lovely to hear from you, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is really funny though, because it's like I do now that I've like, started like doing research and stuff and like all this writing stuff, because I'm a criminology major, it's like I do focus on like when I watch like murder mystery shows or when I talk to people about true crime, I do kind of sit there and like analyze things.
That's not right.
And then like I realized like it was like the other day when we were talking about it, I was like, I realized that to my FBI agent, this probably looks really bad. Let me clarify that
when you write for writing for writers in the search bar after like medieval poison methods.
Yeah.
For writer inspiration. Yeah.
But like I'm sorry. I'm a crim major. I watch a lot of Discovery ID and murder mystery shows. I promise you, I'm not planning on doing this to anybody. This is just me. I'm working to work against these kinds of people. So know your enemy, right? Isn't that how the saying goes?
Yeah. Yeah.
SWAT's going to be busting down my door here in a second. So FBI homing on us again. Yeah. We're just a bunch of troublemakers. I feel like it's like that line from the Harry Potter movie where McGonagall is like, why is it when there's trouble, it's always you three?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So true.
FBI. Oh, FIB is from Grand Theft Auto. I love it. Mm-hmm. I may ask you questions when I start writing my Red Riding Hood retelling. Oh, please do.
Ooh.
Please do. You are more than welcome to send questions my way when it comes to criminology stuff, because I am actually very fascinated by that, hence the studying. But yeah, I wonder what kind of Red Riding Hood retelling we need.
I was gonna say, I love retelling.
Retellings are so fun. Like, they're so interesting. I don't know. I mean, when done right, they're interesting. Because there's some retellings where you're like, what were you thinking? You know? But hold on a second. Oh, is it not? Oh, why is it not working? For some reason, the comment is not. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hello. 3 of us, we've been drinking. Yeah. So who wants to be? Oh shoot! I always get the Three Musketeers names mixed up with the 3 elements of writing. Porthos, Aramis, and
D'Artagnan was the.
Oh, who's the 3rd guy?
Aramis, Porthos.
D'Artagnan was the 4th one. Who was the 3rd guy?
Looks up, finds phone. Okay, let's see.
Oh, you froze a little bit. Oh, there you go. Hold on.
Okay, we're looking up Three Musketeers. I know this. Like, I promise I've read this book many, many times. You know, just all those names.
I can't remember the name of the 3rd guy. Oh, Autumn's got it. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. Okay. Yeah, I get that confused with ethos, logo, and pathos.
Pathos, yeah.
Was right? I don't know at this point. I've been out of high school for how long have I been out of high school? Hold on a second. 6 years. I don't remember. But I always get them confused. Like, I always end up calling Porthos Pathos or whatever the thing is.
I never correlated it with that, but now I'm going to. So thank you for that. Now I'm going to think of those.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. I'm glad to be able to be of some assistance.
Thank you for that so much. Brain mush, yeah.
Yeah, my brain is always mush. It is pure mush. All the time. Every day. Just swishing it around, seeing if I get a new idea, you know. Martini, shaken, not stirred. I don't think I want a brain martini. That doesn't sound very good.
No, it does not.
I mean, if you're a zombie, maybe, but...
Our FBI agent right now is, like, really concerned.
Our poor FBI agent is, like, sitting there with her notebook, like, brain martini, question mark?
At this point, I think my FBI agent is just kind of used to it. It's like, oh, just another day.
Just sitting there with his cup of coffee, just listening, and his like FBI buddies are like, hey, so what are they doing today?
Talk about brain martinis. Least weird thing they've talked about this whole week.
I'm going to get my FBI agent to respond to me. I'm going to say something and they are going to respond. I am determined. Just trying to crack codes. What would brain martini be code for?
I don't know.
I can't even begin, but you know, if our FBI agent thinks it's a code,
we're gonna run with it. Yeah,
we're killing Zara with laughter here. You know, if our FBI agent sees that, though.
It's too late. It's getting late. My coffee's wearing off.
My coffee wore off about like 3 hours ago. So. Brain martini. It's crazy. We're all a little mad here. We're all mad here. You all have fallen down the rabbit hole. You're in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. I don't know which one I am. I like to think I'm the white rabbit, but I don't know. We'll let him figure it out. He'll figure it out. I have faith in our FBI agent. He or she, they're smart people.
Oh yeah.
We'll figure it out probably long before we do. So, oh man. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add, Helene?
Not off the top of my head. I should probably shut up at this point. Who knows what's gonna come out of my mouth?
I can just imagine something happening in the near future, and all three of us are going to be in an interrogation room, and they're just going to be like, "Now
Here's
on
your search history.
On Thursday the 13th, you talked about a brain martini. Care to explain what that is?
I have no excuse. I have no explanation. I'm a writer. You can look on my laptop. There are several unfinished documents, but they are stories.
Yeah. I promise you I'm not crazy. Not that crazy. Alice in Wonderland retelling. Oh my gosh, all the retellings. I love it. Send them my way.
Yes.
And you're right. It could be a female FBI agent. I don't know. She probably thinks we're crazier than the male FBI agent.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? We're just all a little mad here. Another code. According to
Parlay.
the code is more what you would call guidelines than actual rules. If we do get interrogated at any point in time, you have to say that, Autumn. You have when he says the code, you have to say this.
Oh my goodness.
We'll just answer all our questions with Pirates of the Caribbean quotes.
Mm-hmm. And then they're gonna be like, okay, I don't know.
It'll be great. It'll be so funny. Like,
just
troll them.
Yeah. And they're gonna be looking at Pirates of the Caribbean like, okay, what does this mean in and out of context? What could this possibly mean?
It's like random spewing quotes all day.
Random facts. They're like, okay, but where were you on the 15th?
Well, you see, I was going to pick up a crew in Tortuga and otherwise pillage, plunder, and pilfer.
My Weasley Black guts out.
Yeah.
Could be lying or telling the truth.
That is, of course, unless he knew you wouldn't believe the truth, even if he told it to you.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get him.
Otherwise, I would keep going.
What?
I said, I don't know the rest of that. It's about as far as I know into that scene. Otherwise, I'd keep going.
I think that's the end of that scene. Because then it falls over, then it changes over to her falling over the edge of the cliff. And
favorite parts.
And then you just hear Jack saying, and then they made me their chief. And I'm like, I want to hear that story. What? It's late. We're loopy. We're not writing anymore tonight. We're just like shooting the breeze.
Yeah. I know I'm gonna have to go over all these words I wrote. Are they actually like real words at this point? Am I making any sense? You know, at some point of the evening where you're like, either this is brilliant or this is complete nonsense. I don't know.
Welcome aboard the Black Pearl, Miss Turner. You best believe in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one. I love that. As a kid, I thought the skeletons were so cool.
I know, right?
Absolutely loved it. Oh my gosh, but we have to have like a whole nother Pirates of the Caribbean thing.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, dressed up as pirates again. Maybe we could do like a pirate themed sprint. Actually, that's not a bad idea. We could do a pirate themed sprint sometime.
That'd be fun.
And have the numbers be based off of like the year it takes place, or like the years the movie came out, or something.
I like it.
Yeah, we've given our FBI agent a huge detour. We have veered off to the left. They are confused.
They're like jotting down so fast right now.
Brain martinis. Pirates? What?
Where did we get here?
Pirates of the Caribbean? Yes, we can dress like pirates again, and I will go get my pirate captain hat with the feather.
I will as well.
I will have my feathered tricorner hat, and it will be beautiful.
You gotta bring your
Maybe
bird
not
in.
beautiful.
Your bird has to make a cameo though at some point.
Jimmy has to make a cameo. Okay, if he behaves, I will let him make a cameo. So, Helene, you've got anything else to add? I think we have reached the end.
Yeah, not off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're freezing up a little bit there, so I was waiting until it unstuck.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's been kind of on and off on my end too. So sorry.
You're good.
Jimmy is laughing. He makes little noises when he hears people laughing. So, well, thank you all so much for joining me and Helene on this slow descent into madness. We've officially confused our FBI agent, which I say is a plus, and we got some writing done. So it's like a win-win. So that is always lovely. And as long as there are no more thoughts from my wonderful, which side are you on? No, other side. Wonderful co-host, I will go ahead and sign off. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Autumn is saying one more thing. Oh my gosh, seriously, I'm telling you. Why is it when there's trouble, it's always you three? Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, the three musketeers are going to go get some sleep while this musketeer is going to go get some sleep. So I hope that you guys have a good, or I guess you guys have good luck if I can, get the words out properly with whatever you're working on. And thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Oh, we had such a good time. So we will see you guys, I guess, whenever we do a next sprint. I have a morning sprint next Tuesday at 6:30. So if y'all are early birds like me, you are welcome to come join me. Helene, I don't know if you have any sprints coming up that you want to plug.
Let me get out my schedule here.
You gotta look.
I gotta look. I'm so bad about remembering things. If I don't have my list, I'm just not there at all.
Oh, you're fine. I almost forgot that I had the one next in the next week, and I was looking at my schedule that I made, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
I do have a sprint coming up, but I need to confirm dates and times. So
okay.
I guess
so
stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, and then I'll post it up there.
Be on the lookout, because those are also always fun. So, one more thing. It's for crazy people, Eleanor. It's crazy people who run on coffee and fumes. So, but thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope you have a good rest of your evening or afternoon or morning or whatever time it is wherever y'all are. And I guess we will just see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
So, bye. Bye.